Welcome back, students. In this session, we are going to discuss about some of the CET questions from the chapter Body Fluids and Circulation. So, as usual, there will be type A and type B, two types or two formats. Okay, in type A, there will be multiple choice questions, and in type B, there will be assertion and reasoning. So, here coming to the type A, in that first question, anti-serum contains, and the option given are antigens, antibodies, leukocytes, and RBCs. So basically here, if you know the definition of anti-serum, then you will get to know the answer easily. So what is anti-serum? Okay, listen carefully. Anti-serum is a serum. Serum in the sense it is a viscous fluid, okay, that contains immunoglobulins. That is, anti-serum contains immunoglobulins. Okay, from blood of human or animals. Okay, it contains immunoglobulin from blood of human or animals. So basically, when this anti-serum is produced in blood of humans or animals, okay, whenever if a person or an animal is inoculated with antigens, okay, is inoculated with antigens, that means either bacteria, virus, any disease causing agents, okay, when they enter into the body of the host, either animals or humans, at that time what happens, the body naturally, to prevent from that particular disease causing microbes, okay, it will produce antibodies. It will produce antibodies to fight against antigens, okay, and these antibodies are also called as immunoglobulins. Okay, remember this, antibodies are also called as immunoglobulins, and these immunoglobulins are produced naturally or artificially. That means naturally, when any animal, okay, that is recovered from the disease, that is, they will produce natural antibodies within them. Or if any person wantedly inoculate some antigens into the animal, okay, they produce antibodies to protect themselves. So antiserum is a blood serum that contains antibodies. So here the answer will be B, that is antibodies. Okay, now move for the second question. Here the question is, which enzyme induces lysis of fibrinogen to fibrin during fibrinolysis? So here fibrinolysis is nothing but breakdown of fibrinogen into fibrin. So here fibrinogen and fibrin, you have to know about this. So basically fibrinogen is a glycoprotein complex. Okay, this is a protein complex, that is glycoprotein complex, and fibrin is a globular protein. So here one more thing what you have to know is fibrinogen is in inactive state, okay, and fibrin, when it gets converted into fibrin, it is in active state. So basically this fibrinogen is produced in liver, okay, and released into the blood. This fibrinogen is produced in liver and released into the blood. It will be circulating along with the blood. So whenever there is a injury in tissues or in vascular, okay, tissue and vascular injuries happen, at that time what happens, there is an enzyme which helps in conversion of this inactive state fibrin into inactive state fibrinogen into active state fibrin. Okay, for this conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin, there is an enzyme, and that enzyme is thrombin. Okay, so remember this carefully. And later what happens, this fibrin will combine with platelets. Okay, they will combine with platelets and form a clot. Okay, wherever the injury has been taken place, there the clot or plugging, commonly called as, okay, that will be taking place, and that will prevent from the loss of blood. So here it is also important to know about the other options which they have given, that is plasmin and trypsin. Okay, not only this thrombin, this plasmin and trypsin are also an enzymes. So what is the function of this plasmin and trypsin? Okay, plasmin helps in degeneration of blood plasma proteins. Okay, here plasmin will help in degeneration of blood plasma proteins. Not only blood plasma proteins, but see what happens when there is a injury in the tissue. Okay, that time what happens, to clot the blood, this fibrin will be helping in clotting the blood. So later when the tissue is been recovered, this fibrin which helped in clotting the blood should be broken down. Okay, it should be terminated from that area which is been injured. So to break that fibrin, okay, or to break any other blood cells or plasma proteins, this plasmin will be helping. So that is the function of plasmin. And where it is produced, this plasmin is produced in bone marrow. Okay, and thrombin is produced liver. So coming to the trypsin. Okay, trypsin is also an enzyme. Should remember this. Trypsin is also called as proteolytic enzyme. Okay, trypsin is also called as proteolytic enzymes. Or there is one more name for this, that is proteinase. So it is important to remember the alternate names, because you may be getting questions about this. Most of the times you will be knowing the answer, but you will get confused if you don't know the names. So what is the function of this trypsin or proteinase? See, the name here itself says trypsin helps in breakdown of protein. So whatever the protein the person consumes, okay, for this breakdown of this protein, this trypsin helps. Like fibrin is an active state and fibrinogen is inactive state, in the same way here trypsin is in active state. Okay, and trypsin is in active state and trypsinogen is in inactive state. Okay, which gets converted into trypsin whenever required. So now we got to know about plasmin and trypsin. Now we'll move for the next question, third question, that is, which of the following blood groups can be given to any patient? This is the most basic question which you know in your high school itself. Okay, the blood which can be given to any of the patient from any of the blood groups, that blood group is called to be universal donor. Okay, and the blood group O is said to be universal donor. And in that group O, okay, no antigens, that is group O with no antigens can be given to any other blood group. Okay, any other patient from any other blood group. So now coming to the fourth question, which of the following chamber of heart has the thickest muscular wall? It is also the most basic question. If you know the structure of the heart very well, then directly will be knowing the answer. Here the options given are left auricle, left ventricle, right ventricle and right auricle. So here if you see in this image, okay, here there is left atrium, right atrium, right ventricle, and left ventricle. Okay, if you see the walls of this atrium and ventricles, okay, if you observe it properly, you can see on the left ventricle here, here on the left ventricle, the wall is little bit thicker comparing to the right ventricle. So why the left ventricle is thicker than the left ventricle? Sorry, the left ventricle is thicker than the right ventricle because when the oxygenated blood from the lungs, okay, from the enter into the heart, so what happens, this left ventricle, it has to push the oxygenated blood to the whole part of our body, okay, that is up to the tip of our toes to the head region, okay, it has to push the oxygenated blood to the far away regions from the heart, okay, so it has to put a lot of energy, so the muscles has to be thicker to contract or to put such a pressure, okay, so that is why the left ventricles are thicker than any of the chambers of the heart, that is any of the walls of the chamber of the heart. So the answer is left ventricle. Now I'll move for the fifth question, that is, in which of the following pairs the two items mean one and the same thing? The options given are malus and anvil, SA node, that is sinoatrial node and pacemaker, leukocytes, lymphocytes, hemophilia, and blood cancer. So here, if you remember the malus and anvil, they are the structure from the ears. Okay. So basically, malus is a hammer shape. And coming to the next option, that is SA nodes and pacemaker. So here, SA node act as pacemaker. Okay. Pacemaker in the sense which creates a pace, that is which creates. So here, if you see in this diagram, okay, on the upper right atrium and in the junction, that is lower left side of atrium, okay, there is SA node, that is sinoatrial node, and AV node, which creates an electric impulse, okay, through which it sends a signal to the muscles of the heart to contract and to relax, okay. So this sinoatrial node is nothing but a natural pacemaker of heart, that is which sends an electric signal for the contraction and relaxation of heart. So here the answer is sinoatrial node and pacemaker. These lymphocytes are nothing but they are a type of leukocytes itself, okay. And hemophilia is a bleeder's disease, that is a genetic disorder. The answer is B. So coming to the next question, sixth question, that is, here the question is, an artificial pacemaker is implanted subcutaneously and connected to the heart in patients. Okay, whenever this sinoatrial node, okay, the function is disrupted, if there is a problem in contraction and relaxation due to the failure of natural pacemaker, the artificial pacemaker will be implanted into a person or a patient. So when this artificial pacemaker is being implanted into a patient, so here you can see in this image there is a artificial pacemaker, okay, this device will be implanted into the patient's heart, okay. So here in this image you can see how the pacemaker is implanted into the patient's heart and it is connected here, okay, for the electric signal. And when this surgery is done, when this pacemaker is being implanted, it is done when the patient's heartbeat level, okay, drops abnormally low. That means abnormally in the sense about 30 to 40 heartbeat per minute. Okay, that is a abnormal heartbeat. It may cause either due to any diseases or due to any operations. Okay, at that condition the pacemaker is fixed or implanted into the patient to keep the proper functioning of heart. So the answer is with irregularity in the heart rhythm. Okay, that is when the heartbeat falls abnormally. So moving to the next question, the seventh question here. The figure below shows an angioplasty of the coronary blood vessel. Which one of the following statements correctly describes what is being done? So here the option given are, the first option goes like this. It is coronary artery which has a cancerous growth that is being removed. In the next option, it is coronary artery which is blocked by a plaque and the same is being cracked. In the third option, it is coronary vein in which the defective valves are being opened. And the fourth option, it is coronary vein blocked by parasite, that is blood fluid, an example, that is being removed. Okay, to know the answer, you have to know what is angioplasty. So I'll show you an image, as this is not a better image for understanding. See here in this image you can see on the left side, okay, here there you can see the blocked artery, okay, due to accumulation of plaque. So what happens, this blocking will be removed, okay, as you can see in the right side. This surgery is done to clear the blockage or narrowed arteries, or it may lead to heart attack as the blood cannot pass easily. Okay, and that leads a lot of pressure. Okay, and this device is called as catheter. Okay, which later which expands like a balloon like structure, okay, in the walls, and that clears the narrowing of the blood vessels. So here the answer is the second option, that is it is coronary artery which is blocked by a plaque. Okay, this you have to remember, and the same is being cracked. That means the plaque is being removed or the vessel is being widened. And moving to the eighth question. Here the question is Hirudin is. Okay, what is Hirudin? So basically, if you know, Hirudin is a natural peptide, okay, which is produced in salivary glands of blood-sucking leeches. So you might have heard about leeches, okay, who depend upon the blood directly on the living host, that is either humans or any other animals. They suck the blood. So as we have already discussed in the previous question about blood clotting, okay, whenever a person or an animal it get injury or tissue rupture, what happens, their fibrinogen gets converted into fibrin and blood clotting will take place. Here when these leeches attack on animals or humans and start sucking the blood, okay, there the fibrin will not be formed. Okay, the fibrinogen will never get will not be able to clot the blood. That is because, okay, because of this hirudin which is produced in the salivary glands of leeches, they will not allow the they will block the active sites, okay, and this fibrin will not be able to act upon that, and there will be no clotting, and continuous sucking of blood will be taking place. So here in these options, as you can see, there is no mentioning about leeches, but which is isolated. This plant, Brassica napus, has a component hirudin which has anticoagulant nature, which is used for the treatment to remove the blood clots. So directly I will go in for the answer, that is it is a protein produced from transgenic Brassica napus which prevents blood clotting. Okay, here in this case, this Brassica napus, it is been hirudin is been isolated from that plant. Okay, for the medicine purpose. But in the leeches, this hirudin are naturally produced in the salivary glands, okay, to suck the blood continuously. So here coming to the ninth question, that is the component of blood which prevents its coagulation in the blood vessel is, okay, what is that component in the blood which prevents the coagulation, okay, that is blood clotting. So here the options are hemoglobin, plasma, thrombin, and heparin. So here the answer is heparin. The plasma is a fluid, the thrombin helps in blood clotting, but the question given is component of blood which prevents its coagulation, okay, which inhibits the blood clotting, that is heparin. So what this heparin will do, it prevents the activation of prothrombin. Okay, here prothrombin will never get converted into thrombin. This will prevent or inhibit the activation of prothrombin. And if there is no formation of thrombin, okay, this thrombin will help in blood clotting. If there is no formation of thrombin, then there will be no blood clotting. Okay, so the answer is heparin. Heparin is a component of blood which prevents its coagulation in the blood vessel. So coming to the 10th question, here the question is thickening of arteries due to cholesterol deposition is, okay. So in the seventh question we have discussed about this, that is the formation of cholesterol, okay, that is blocking of arteries due to presence of cholesterol, and the treatment is angioplasty, okay. So that is related to this question, and that thickening of arteries or deposition of cholesterol, okay, which blocks the arteries, and that condition, okay, where the blood vessels get narrowed and the arteries lose their elasticity and they will get sniffed, okay, and that is called arteriosclerosis. That is first option, arteriosclerosis, okay, that is deposition of cholesterol in the blood vessels. Now we'll move to the next question, that is 11th question, which of the following is a matching pair. So here the first option itself, lub, okay, lub and dub are the sound which are produced by the heart, okay, when the systole and diastole takes place, that is when contraction and relaxation takes place. Okay, lub is a sharp closure of atrioventricular valves at the beginning of the ventricular systole. That is, lub sound is caused due to partial closure of bicuspid and tricuspid valves, okay, and also by the partly contraction of muscles in the ventricles. And lub is the first heart sound and dub is the second sound, okay, when relaxation takes place. So here the statement given in the first option is right. So the answer is lub, which is a sharp closure of atrioventricular valves at the beginning of the ventricular systole. Okay, this is the answer. We'll move for the 12th question, that is a malfunctioning of the lymph nodes would most likely interfere with the. So to know this answer, you should know the function of lymphatic nodes, okay, lymph nodes or a lymphatic system. So here you have to remember two functions. Okay, one is it regulates fluid amounts in the blood. Okay, it regulates fluid amount in blood, and the one more function is it also helps in fighting infection. Okay, so how they will fight against infection? What do? They produce white blood cells, okay, as you know they are immune cells, white blood cells, and they filter harmful bacteria, okay. So that is why lymph nodes enlarge whenever there is infection, okay, due to formation of white blood cells. They have to produce many white blood cells, so that is why there will be a enlargement of lymph nodes. So here, as you know the function now, we will know the answer. Okay, that is option D, filtering of bacteria from the lymph node. Okay, there are two functions. They may ask any of the function in the options. Okay, so you have to remember both. So coming to the next 13th question, that is, arteries supplying blood to the heart are called. It is the most basic question. Coronary arteries are the arteries that supply blood to the heart. Okay, here coronary arteries supply blood to heart. So this is the answer. If the question is instead of heart, they ask head. Okay, arteries supplying blood to head region. So which arteries will supply head blood to head region? Then you have to go for this option, that is carotid arteries. So remember this, coronary arteries supply blood to heart, and carotid arteries supply blood to head, and hepatic arteries and pulmonary arteries. So hepatic arteries supply blood to liver. It is important to remember all of this, while the pulmonary arteries supply blood to lungs. Okay, carotid arteries to heart, coronary arteries to carotid arteries to head, coronary arteries to heart, and hepatic arteries to liver, and pulmonary arteries to lungs. So here the question given is heart, so the answer is coronary arteries. Now we'll move for the 14th question. Here the question is, a man whose blood group is not known meets with a serious accident and needs blood transfusion immediately. Which one of the blood groups readily available in the hospital will be safe for the transfusion? So, to know the answer, you should know the ABO system of blood group and RH system of blood group. Okay, there is RH, two factors, RH positive and RH negative. RH in the sense rhesus. Okay, and you have to know the ABO system of blood group. So coming to the explanation here, if you see in ABO system of blood grouping, okay, there are four types, that is O, A, B and AB. Okay, as you know the universal donor O, okay, this blood can be given to person of all types of blood. Okay, that is in emergency situations. If we don't know any the patient's blood group, okay, that is in emergency, O type of blood group can be given, who is a universal donor. Okay, but coming to the RH factor here, okay, there is RH positive and RH negative. See, in India, about 97% of people are RH positive. Okay, 97% of the population in India have RH positive. If suppose the patient who has met with an accident is RH positive, okay, let us consider if the patient is RH positive, if the blood given is RH positive, then there will be no problem at all. Okay, it will be safe. But suppose if the patient is with RH negative, okay, then he is transfused with RH positive. So here RH positive when given to the person with RH negative. So here what happens in the first transfusion, when the RH negative person is transfused with the RH positive, he or she will develop anti RH factor. Okay, that is antibodies, anti-Rh factor in the sense antibodies in his or her blood, and there will be no harm. Okay, if suppose the same person for the second time again he is treated with Rh positive. Okay, when the first time he is treated, he will produce this anti-Rh, he will produce anti-Rh factor. If the second time it is repeated with Rh positive, okay, that may lead to blood clot or coagulation of blood, and the person will die if he is done with Rh positive. Okay, that is for the second time. If the second transfusion is Rh positive, then the person will die. Okay, who is having Rh negative. So in this condition, okay, if the blood group is not known, okay, of the person, then we can go for O and Rh positive. Okay, that is in the first case there is a chance of survival, but not in the second transfusion of Rh positive. So the answer is C. Sorry, the answer is B, as O is universal donor and Rh positive can be given for the first time. If he is Rh positive, then he will be safe, but in case if he is Rh negative, then there will be formation of anti Rh factor. Okay, in first case this is the safer, so the answer is B. So coming to the next question, 15th question, with reference to the blood in a normal person, which one of the following statement is correct? So the first option here is, compared to arteries, veins are less numerous and hold less of the body's blood at any given time. No, it is not the case. Here, veins are complex as arteries. Okay, they both play a major role. So this is not the answer. So coming to the option B, that is, blood cells constitute about 70% of the total volume of blood. The second option is, blood cells contains about 70% of the total blood volume of the blood. So it is about 40 to 45% of total volume of blood. Okay, so this is also a wrong option. So coming to the third option, WBC, that is white blood cells, are made by lymph nodes only. Okay, white blood cells are also made in, are also produced in bone marrow. Okay, so this is not the right answer. And the last option, that is, the blood has more platelets than WBC. Yes, okay, here as the volume of the blood is too high comparatively to WBC, it has more platelets than WBC. WBC are in a less number. See here, the number of blood platelets, okay, number of blood platelets per cubic mm is 3 lakhs. Okay, should remember this. Number of blood platelets per cubic mm is about 3 lakhs, and number of WBCs are about 5,000 per cubic mm. Okay, so there is a huge difference between the number of platelets in the total volume of blood and the number of WBCs in the total volume of blood. So the answer is option D, that is, the blood has more platelets than WBC. So here you have to remember the number of platelets and WBC, because they may change this options, and they can only change the number of WBCs and platelets and give. So accurately, if you know the value, then you can go for the answer directly. So coming to the 16th question, okay, here the question is, which of the following organs in the blood is the blood bank? Sorry, which of the following organs is the blood bank? So here this is one of the most basic question. Here the options you can see: heart won't produce or store blood, it only pumps the blood. Okay, lungs won't store or produce blood. Okay, it is a respiratory system which helps in exchange of gases. And coming to the spleen, spleen has a potential of making and storing, that is producing or synthesizing as well as storing lymphocytes as well as red corpuscles. It is lymphocytes and red corpuscles, sorry, and red corpuscles, and these are squeezed out into the bloodstream. Okay, it produces and it stores within itself whenever there is a requirement. Okay, whenever there is a necessary in emergencies, or if when a person met with an accident or some injuries. Okay, this spleen will immediately release the lymphocytes as well as red corpuscles into the bloodstream. Okay, spleen is the organ, okay, which is also called as a blood bank. So here the 17th question is: which of the following is a match pairing of a certain body feature and its value or count in a normal adult human? Okay, here the first option is urea 5 to 10 mg per 100 ml of blood. So what is the amount of urea? As you all know, okay, it is a basic question. Urea is about 17 to 30 mg, okay, milligram per 100 ml of blood. So here the option given is urea is about 5 to 10 mg. So it is the wrong assertion, wrong answer. And here you can see the total blood volume, that is 5 to 6 liters. There is no unit at all. Okay, so this option is also wrong. And here the second option, blood sugar, okay, that is while fasting it is about 70 to 100 mg, milligram per 100 ml of blood. So this is the right option, that is B. Move for the next question, that is 18th question. So here the question is: given below is the ECG of a normal human, which one of the components is correctly interpreted below? So this is also one of the most basic question which is already there in your textbook. You can see, okay, in page number 286. So you should know what are these peaks called as. Okay, and this is the diagrammatic representation of standard ECG. Okay, so here each peak, okay, each single peak is identified from P to T. Okay, this is a one peak, sorry, that is a one cycle. Okay, here you have to know what is PQRST. Okay, coming to the first peak, that is P. So P is nothing but it is a electrical excitation. Okay, it is electrical excitation of atria. That means this shows the contraction, okay, the contraction of both the arteries. Okay, and coming to this next, that is QR and S. This QR and S is called as QRS complex. That means they initiate ventricular contraction. Ventricular contraction. And coming to the last peak, that is T. This wave is nothing but an end of systole. Okay, so here to know the heartbeat rate, okay, it can only be known by counting the number of QRS. okay, by counting the number of QRS complex. So here complex QRS is a one complete pulse, okay, through which the heartbeat rate can be identified. Okay, so this is the, so here coming to the 19th question, okay, which of the following statements are wrong? So here coming to the first statement, leukocytes disintegrate in spleen and liver. Okay, leukocytes won't disintegrate in spleen and liver. Okay, so this is the wrong statement. Now I'll move for the other options. So here the second option is RBC, WBC and blood platelets are produced in bone marrow. Yes, of course, they are produced in bone marrow. The statement is true. We have to search the wrong statement or false statement. Okay, and then the third option is neutrophils bring about destruction and detoxification of toxins of protein origin. So this statement is false. And the fourth statement is the important function of lymphocyte is to produce antibodies. As we already discussed, okay, lymphocytes, they produce antibodies, so this statement is true. And the wrong statements are the first and third. Okay, so here in these options A, B, C and D, okay, C, here the answer is C, that is first and third option. Third statement in the given is wrong. The given statements are the wrong statements. So coming to the next question. Here the question is, the diagram given here is the standard ECG of a normal person. The P wave represents the, so as we already discussed about what this each wave stands for, so it is easy for you to know the answer. Here the options are initiation of ventricular contraction, beginning of the systole, end of systole. End of systole is T, and it's not the beginning of systole, and contraction of both atria, as we already discussed in the previous question, in the 18th question. Okay, P wave stands, it is the electric excitation or depolarization of the atria. Okay, you have to remember this, it is electric excitation or depolarization of the atria which leads to the contraction of both atria. So the answer is D, which leads to the contraction of both atria. And you should also remember what this QRS complex is and what is T stands for. Okay, and coming to the 21st question, that is bulk of carbon dioxide released from body tissue into the blood is present as. So the carbon dioxide which is released from the body tissues in blood, in what form it is present is the basic question. Okay, it is present in the form of bicarbonate. Okay, that is here you can see in third option there is the bicarbonate in blood plasma and RBC. Okay, the carbon dioxide is present in the form of bicarbonate in blood plasma and RBC. So this is